Yo, what up?
What's up, bruh?
Sound like an old man. Whoa! What's up, everybody?
Yo, episode.
Yo, we're
already.
on 20, man.
Holy shit! Look at us
Damn.
on camera. I mean, we look freaking good. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Yo, cheers, brother.
Hey, STBeef,
episode
man.
20.
Episode
Jesus
20.
Christ.
Oh, man. Thanks for
And
following
yes,
up
finally
on us.
we bought
Brian
beer
bought
mugs.
these beer mugs, if you can tell.
It's a very royal design.
A very medieval
Yeah.
type of design.
Yeah, gotta love it, bro.
So good shit with the mugs.
Yo, man, we started this from freaking August, right?
Yes, sir.
Damn,
Man,
bro.
it's been
Pretty
it's
consistent.
been a trip, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a trip so far.
Yeah, man.
It's been about four months now. Damn. I think a lot of things happened within those months, huh?
Yeah, man. It's been a ride.
One thing I realized is time flies.
Yeah,
When
dude.
you start like a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Or like social media stuff,
Yeah.
time fucking flies.
And it's really crazy because like later on when we're like old as fuck, we can always like look back. It's pretty much our like historical data when we were like ratchet kids.
It's crazy, man. Do you think
Yeah.
they'll have YouTube later? Like 80 years from now?
I don't see why not. You know what I'm saying, dog? Like what I mean,
What if
Yeah.
what if it's like replaced with something else? And yeah, but like, well, until now, everything on the internet is still like, even from like a long time ago. Like, remember the old days? Like we had MySpace and shit.
yeah. No, I see what you're saying. For video, like there were different like platforms for
Yeah.
streaming videos. The only reason why YouTube still exists today and it's getting better is because like they just found a way. Like what's that file called? FLV, whatever it is. I'm not too sure about it. I don't
know
want to
about
speak on
anything.
it too much, but they like basically they found a way to like make like stream the video like faster and faster and like whatever the process is, the encoding, or I'm just throwing out like all these technical terms.
Look at you throwing out all these
I'm
terms.
so smart. But anyways, like because of that, that's why like YouTube is where it is today because everything is very instant. Like everything else
Right.
was like kind of lagging behind,
Right.
and like this was like just fast streaming. So that's why, yeah, and obviously like everything's been very integrated into YouTube with the
Right.
all these ads. Before there weren't any ads at all, but now with the ads and and all these businesses that are very like that are integrated into YouTube already, it's just like I don't see it dying. I only see it growing, if anything.
I wonder what like let's say like even like 20 years from now, what if there will be like a new YouTube but like better. You know what I'm saying?
RedTube.
Oh,
What?
RedTube is always a thing.
At nighttime only. But anyways,
that
what were you
red.
saying? Yeah, no,
It's crazy, man. Technology, huh?
I just don't see it being replaced. If anything, like they definitely have the upper hand, obviously.
Oh yeah, I mean when did YouTube start? Remember, like how long is it? How,
I think
how
it
old
was.
is it?
I mean, I
like
think
10
it was like 2005 or 2006.
Like 12, 13 years ago,
2005.
huh?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Remember when that first came out? Where like you couldn't even like there was nothing on.
There was nothing there.
There's no content, so
Yeah.
you're just like trying to like, let's see, and then like people started posting videos and
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish like, don't you wish that you kind of like started the podcast then?
Yeah, of course, man. It would have definitely made things much more like marketable just because like everything's so saturated now, even with the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's a
so,
lot
like,
of podcasts. Out there.
Trying to get our voice out there, but still, like, we still love doing this. And
Yeah, man.
That's the reason why we're
it's
still
fun.
here today.
It's fun.
Yeah, man, it's cool. And like, we get to like share our stories and stuff and share it with the audience. And like I said earlier, like I said before, we can look back on it. It's fun. It's fun.
It's gonna be a good experience, and yeah, man. We originally wanted to start off with like we want to talk mainly about Korea,
Yeah.
right? Well, that was like how we started because like we want to introduce like the Korean culture because we're like both Korean Americans that like grew up in America. We didn't
But
know
we
shit
we
about.
also have this dynamic because
Right,
like
right,
you know
right.
you're coming from a very like conservative /
Korean.
traditional you know
Right, Korean family.
yeah, Korean family, and whereas like for me it's a little bit you know more of a unique situation, so
Right,
that's
right,
why
right.
it's like it works, I think.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of evolved a little bit.
Want to
huh?
make out?
Sorry,
I thought there
wait
was
a minute.
connection
It's
there.
the wrong timing there, buddy.
Oh, oops.
Speaking of family, man.
Oh, my familia, man. So, shout out to my uncle Chris. I
What's up, Chris?
finally met my uncle Chris on Sunday
In Korea.
in Korea, and figures out that did I already tell this to the people or
No, you didn't say anything about your cousin or your family or anything.
Okay, so anyways, oh no, I think I did. So like my grandma passed away recently, right?
Yeah,
And because of that, like, you know,
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
got
you
together.
did say you were gonna meet your
just
cousin.
to recap on
Right,
things. And
right.
so basically I found out that my great uncle is and his family is here in Korea, right? And he's originally from Oregon, I think.
He's from Oregon?
Portland. Yeah,
Portland
Portland's
Blazers.
in Oregon. Right? Oh shit. Oops. Anyways,
Yes.
it's a city in Oregon, maybe. I don't know. Oh shit.
Shit, don't ask me, man. I'm fucking
You got the
ignorant as
freaking
fuck.
computer. But anyways,
You want me to look it up?
yeah. Anyways, figures out he's Caucasian, so like he married into the family, and
You're right.
yeah,
Portland
and
is in
so
Oregon. Mhm.
his son, which is my uncle, right? So he's biracial. So yeah, he's half Korean, half white.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, he was born here in Korea, but he grew up in California. He moved around a little bit too, but mostly in California. That's where he was raised, and then he moved back here to Korea because of certain circumstances, and then yeah, that's why like yeah, he went to international school, and obviously like. Yeah, he's able to speak Korean really well. Actually, like he's like really fluent as fuck. It was
That's
so
funny.
crazy, man.
Because
So-
he's like a white guy. He looks like a white dude, right?
Anyone who looks at his picture or looks at him in real life will be like, okay, he's white. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
But no, like he's got that half Korean Han blood. You know, he's
Ooh.
got an edge
got that
to
Han.
him. He's got that edge to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that chip on his
that
shoulder.
Korean edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. But anyways, that kimchi rage.
Oh,
But
what kind of accent was that? I wasn't Korean at all. It was like Indian. Anyway.
But anyways, man, we sat down at the bar. We met at Gangbyeon.
Last weekend, right? Last Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday, cool.
And from 3 p.m., we hung out till fucking like 6 a.m.
That's crazy, man.
Just catching up on things.
That's crazy. Family history.
A little bit, yeah. Till
Lineage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I found out a lot of things. I don't want to speak on it too much because he will be coming on as a guest
Yes,
in
sir.
the
Yes,
podcast
sir.
in the near future. But what I'm able to tell you is basically we're just like catching up on things. Like, what the hell happened to you? Like, what were you doing this whole time? And like I did meet
Where have you
him
been?
once briefly. And that was when he came over to my place when I was literally 20 years ago, like when I was like 8 years old, 7 years old.
You did speak on this on the podcast, yeah.
Oh, I did? Okay, yeah. And the only memory that I have is him fighting with that other kid. But anyways, yeah, man. And yeah, he's like into like photography and like he's kind of like in the creative kind of field. So like, yeah, like we had that
It's cool as fuck.
kind of like, that common ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool, man. He talked to my mom, and that's when I found out like he was like really fucking good at Korean.
like fluent.
Because like he talks like he's fluent in English, obviously, right? Because like he grew up in the States too. So like, but like he ordered something, right? Like bar food, whatever. And then I was just like, wow. I was like, hey man, your Korean's really good. Like you're like we say like parum. Parum is like pronunciation. Your parum is like really good. And
That's
then
what we call Konglish when you mix Korean and English in a sentence.
yeah. And
It's hilarious.
Yeah. And like later, like I said, I called my mom and then he just spoke to her in full blown like Korean language.
Was your mom surprised that your uncle speaks Korean? Because he just looks like a white person.
I don't know why she wasn't surprised. Maybe he already originally spoke Korean from before.
That's awesome,
which I
man.
don't know. She wasn't surprised. She was just talking to him. She was like,
That's cool.
oh, blah, blah, like just talking. And obviously, it was quite an experience meeting, like, you know, someone, you know, that's family
Right,
from like
man.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, I was just a little kid back then, and he was obviously much older than I was. Maybe he's like what 7 years, or yeah, I think 7 years older than me. So like, yeah, even meeting him like recently on Sunday, I still felt like the young kid just because of his physical, like his height.
Right.
He's like 190 centimeters, which is 6'3", approximately. So I was like, holy fuck, this is so crazy. Like, I didn't know you were like this tall. But yeah, like he plays ball and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool, man.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. So you said that he might be starting his own YouTube channel too, right? He has a lot of ideas, trying to start different
So
stuff.
So in the near future, like, you know, we might be able to collaborate
Dude,
with him.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
all about
pretty
networking.
cool, man. Yeah, and apparently, like, you know, his mom has a sister,
Okay.
a twin sister. So it's pretty crazy. Twin
Right.
sister who lives in like, oh, I forgot what it was. It was maybe like
The States?
Arizona or like somewhere in the States, right? But not California or New York, like somewhere like in the Midwest, I think. Oops. But anyways, she also married an American guy, right? White American guy, I believe. And so like her son, like her son, I think, he was living with his dad, and then
Okay.
just recently, I think they he found his mom or something. And so like that's quite a story itself, but I don't want to speak on it too much just because I don't know.
Let's save that shit for
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Just because I know my uncle Chris knows like much more in detail about it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, apparently he's like a coach for a college basketball.
We're not talking about Chris. We're talking about your other uncle.
Yep.
That's living in Arizona, right? At
Right,
this time.
right.
And
It might be Arizona. I'm sorry. I don't know.
And he's also
Yeah.
biracial.
Yeah, he's biracial.
Oh, okay, cool. So his dad is white and his mom is Korean.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are not really sure, like, you know, it happens like if a Korean marries interracially, it's a big deal.
Yeah, because it's such a homogenous like state.
Yes.
I mean, country here in Korea, and it's kind of instilled in like the culture. So like, we're definitely like out of the box here.
Don't be surprised if you come to Korea and most people are Korean. That's what you should expect.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like you said, it's mostly homogenous.
Much more
And
than Japan, wouldn't you say?
Much more, man.
Yeah.
Japanese people, I feel. Okay, this is what I think. I think Japanese people they don't care who they marry. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care who I marry. Like, I'm not talking about like traditional. I'm talking about modern Japanese people, right? They don't really care. Like, if they like somebody, they love somebody, they'll marry them. It doesn't matter about their race, country. But generally, like Japanese people, usually they kind of like have their own stuff going on. They kind of keep away from the rest of the world in terms of like, I don't know, like just cultural exposure and stuff. They have their own type. They're like Japanese is like the Asian America.
Yeah.
That's how we would like to put it, right? Or like even Canada, they just have their own culture. They're doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, that's my opinion. I feel like they don't really care, but usually they would usually marry other Japanese people. Am I kind of right on this? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like,
It's not like they're like discriminatory. They're just kind of like, you know, that's how they usually meet other Japanese people because they're just in the same vicinity.
Yeah,
Right?
just because they're like near other Japanese people, obviously because they're in Japan. But like but when it comes down to like if their parents like had a say in it, they don't care really. And I'm speaking on behalf of like, I guess like in today's age right now. Yeah, like in the new generation. So, but yeah, like if we're gonna compare that with like Korean people now, it's like much different. And I think, I mean, am I safe to assume that like Korean people, they don't care if like a Korean person marries like a white American, like a Caucasian American person, or any Caucasian. But I think they would rather prefer that much more than like
A black person.
anything else. Yeah.
I really agree with that.
Yeah, and that's
I gotta
why,
agree with it.
And that's why, like, my other, if you guys can keep up with my fucking like family tree, I'm sorry guys, but like my grandma's other sister, she lives in New York, Flushing, I think. Yeah, she married either an Indian or a Bangladeshian person. Is it Bangladeshian? Whatever.
I don't know.
Bangladesh person,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, like because of like the color of like obviously her husband's skin and like just like where he's coming from, I think she's been like ostracized from the community. And not I think I know
like even her own family, like relatives and shit too. Like her grandma.
I'm pretty sure like
her mom.
some people I don't know, maybe not from the family, but just because like we were already like I think they're already like exposed to that enough. Like 3 of the sisters, right? 3 sisters.
Right. All of them married foreigners, right?
Yeah. Like,
see, yeah.
Interracial marriage, yeah. So yeah, so like from the I'm talking about the Korean community, because in Flushing it's a lot of like fucking Koreans and like Chinese people, right?
Fucking Koreans
so
and
like
Chinese.
yeah, like within that community, like they kind of they're the oddball, right? They're the ones that are like not within the
right
the lines.
They're
So,
different.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's why like I think like so her son, which is also my uncle, Uncle Russell, like even he
Bangladeshi guy, right?
yeah
Bangladesh guy.
half Korean, half Bangladesh or whatever fuck he is. So like yeah, even he got like shit. I'm pretty sure he did. So
Well, he
like,
didn't do shit. All he did was be born.
exactly, but it's just the color of the skin and
He didn't even do anything.
and like what we were like talking about before, like Korean being like very homogenous and like very like they want to preserve the Korean blood. So like with having that mindset, they're looking at like my uncle and like his family like, okay, you guys are like fucking weird or some shit. So and him being like a dark fucking color, just like me, I'm fucking dark color too. But
not really. Okay,
go on. I mean, but you know what I mean. Like, but he's like different fucking skin tone. So like they just think it's like really weird and like they get freaked the fuck out. But like if it's like yeah, but there's like shit like that happens, but also like to like like hearing just a little bit about how like my uncle Chris grew up too, like he got shit for some things too. So I'm just saying, I think overall, especially the Korean community, they're a little bit more acceptable of like, okay, if you're Korean, then you can marry a Caucasian. But if you're a Korean and you marry like something else where it's a little bit too different, like whether it's an African American or if it's like Indian American, whatever, then I think there's some sort of like they're not ready for. I don't think their mind is ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I know a lot of people that actually like married interracially. Like I know back in Florida, like I knew a lot. Like I knew like at least 4 families that were like.
And we're talking about Koreans here.
Yeah, Koreans that married black people, like
really?
African American.
That's awesome.
So I feel like it depends on where you live too. I would say that if you're in Korea. Like in Florida, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal.
Well, it's the States. So,
yeah, it's the States. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Like it's like the melting pot. Everyone's like, I'm used to that culture.
Unless you're in the Korean community,
unless you were in like Korean
especially
churches
back then. Yeah. That's a different generation, right? Like we're talking about like my grandma's sister, right?
So yeah, I mean, I would say that if you grew up in Korea, I would say the first generation Koreans, it's about half. Like, cause do you know my friend Neil?
Don't know.
My Neil's Neil. He's like one of my like best good like buddies. Like so I met him in Korea. Butt buddies. He's an Indian American guy. He's half Brazilian, half Indian. Grew up in America. Married a Korean girl. Sorry, and now they're living in Chicago. But for him, like he's like. He didn't get any sort of backlash again, like because he's marrying into like a Korean home. So like he's like really happy, and his like I know for a fact that his wife, the Korean girl, her family is like super happy as well. Like they're happy that they married. They're living very happily in Chicago. So like I know families like that, but on the other hand, more like traditional families would be like a little bit more welcoming towards Caucasians, but I would say it's changed, but to a certain degree. But yes, definitely.
But you do agree, like
a little more favorable towards white people. Like, you know, if you're marrying a Caucasian person, but
would you say little?
It depends on the family. It depends on family.
No, I'm saying like generally speaking.
I would say that you would definitely get more like I meant like you could definitely get more backlash if you married a black person rather than like a white lighter skinned person.
Not even that, even like a Southeast Asian person.
Hell yeah. Hold on a second, because Koreans are very like big on currencies. Like Korea's rich now. We're like the 7th richest country in the world, right?
Oh damn, you got your facts straight.
Yes, sir,
Look
motherfucker. But
your research.
But if a Korean person married, like, let's say like a Filipino, like, you know, straight from the Philippines, whose country is obviously, whose GDP is obviously not as like, you know, as they're like not up to par with Korea yet. I mean, they used to be a lot higher, but now Korea is like really rich. The Philippines is not that rich, right? They're like a poor, like third world country. If a Korean person married another person from like the Philippines, they would get a lot of shit. Like, why are you downgrading? You know, based on like the social status of this country.
That's so crazy. Shout out to my Filipinas. Yo, I fucking love the Philippines. But they have some pretty hot gals.
But we're talking about like the actual country of the Philippines. We're not talking about like Filipino American, because I know a lot of like Filipino Americans too.
No, but I went to the Philippines, bro.
You're talking about people from the actual Philippines,
right? Like, okay. Like straight from Philippines, man. There's some like hot girls, man.
There's hot girls in every country.
No, but something about the mix, the right mixture, man. Like, you know, the Spaniards, like fucking like Chinese.
I heard about that. Yeah, the Spaniards and the
goodness gracious. Oh my god. I mean,
hot.
I'm all in.
Hot
for
or
that.
not?
Oh, fucking hot, man. No, I'm telling you, man.
I bet.
There's just something about it. Like, they're just so and they are. I'm gonna say this right now. They are the black people of Asia, and what I mean by that is they just have Filipinos. And let me tell you, because they just have a natural swagger to them. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Oh,
like,
okay.
They got it. It's not something that you're taught. It's not something that's mimicked like here in Korea because of hip hop culture. But like, it's not, maybe it doesn't really have to do with hip hop, but like they just have this natural like swag and like just like singing, their natural ability of like singing is like different than Korean singing. Like, really? I don't know how Koreans to describe really good at singing. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but the way they sing, like how they sound, I think you have to hear them. And like, yeah, man, it's just like, I don't know what it is, but like they're just really good, and they love basketball, and they love like, what is it? And like they're just like really, they dress like, I'm gonna say it right now, not hip hop, but like they have like this, well, yeah, I guess hip hop and like even this like basketball style, clothing,
like
so
Jordans, they're just like fitted hats and shit.
Yeah, but it's not like forced or like a front like how it is like how it is here in Korea, because like some people in Korea like they wear like
the shit,
they wear like a team's like jersey or something just because it looks cool.
But they don't know shit about their jersey,
people, right? Yeah, it's like, do you know your team is like not even the playoffs or like or the last in its division or right? You know what I mean, man?
I know what you mean by that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people like, I mean, in Korea we talked about this too, but like hip hop is like, I don't like this whole hard hip hop culture here.
Shout out to China Mac.
I mean, yeah, China Mac. I mean, I don't even know these. I don't even follow hip hop in Korea. But like these motherfuckers that try to act hard, like we talked about with Kathy and shit. It's such bullshit to me. I don't even know your fucking names, but you need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
because like you act like, you know, like you've been through shit and you've seen shit in your life, right?
Yeah.
And all you've seen is like what? Like you can't get it, you know, it's hard, like unemployment rates are high.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about in your fucking rap? If you listen to their lyrics, it's hilarious. They're like, oh, I'm eating choco pies. But the beat is like, they're like, there's like girls in the background. They have like guns in their fucking hands. I'm like, dude, you're a piece of shit. That's what you are. It pisses me off actually, because why do you act like something you're not? You know?
Yeah. And like those of you guys who don't really know Korea that much, like we're not being ignorant because like me and Joe, like we've traveled all over Korea. We've been to every like corner of the neighborhood, and pretty much like it's different than the States, because like in the States you're gonna find some places where it's actually like literally dangerous. It's it's life threatening, right?
Is in danger.
But like in Korea there really is none. Like we've been everywhere, right? Like there's never a moment where I felt like I was in danger. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a man. It's because like just like common sense,
right?
Like being street smart, like, you know, like you're a little bit more like aware of things,
right?
But like that didn't kick in, and like there was nothing going on. And also with like with gangs, I don't know of any gangs here that's like internationally or like even big.
Not even nationally. No one even knows.
Even nationally,
you know,
and that's why, man, and like that's why they don't have like drugs like we do in the States, because with drugs there's always like weaponry involved. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, man, and that's why what we were talking about before, like even like compared to Japan, like Japan at least has like. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but they have the Yakuza there, right? Which is internationally known, and like they do
everyone in the world knows Yakuza. Like, you know, they're just internationally very renowned. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're notorious. Known for like doing business, right? And so like obviously what are they gonna do to make profit? They're gonna bring in drugs or whatever, whatnot. So like
exactly.
That's why there's like really hard drugs in Japan compared to Korea. In Korea, how many people do you know do hard drugs?
The Koreans? None.
Korean people.
I know like maybe one out of like...
Is he Korean American?
100.
We're talking about Koreans.
Koreans. I know one. That's because he has a Korean American friend.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't count. And like, I'm talking about hard drugs. I'm not talking about like marijuana.
Marijuana is considered the highest, like, you know, like level of druggery here.
Even the state of California recognizes it as like a harmless drug. That's why
it's legal in Cali. You know,
you can use it for recreational purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back to what I was saying, like in Japan, like, yeah, man, like that's why there's a lot more danger involved. You know, always it's tied with drugs. So that's why like the rappers there, like AKA like Ko.
Yeah, Ko's the shit, man.
Yeah, Ko is so his name is spelled as KOHH. The only reason why I know him is because I saw him on YouTube on Hot 97, right? Hot 97.1, right? So like it's very reputable hip hop like radio station. So like, yeah, he showed up there and like I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But yeah, man, half Korean, half Japanese. And yeah, his
cool
dad,
ass dude, man.
Yeah, he's got a story, man. His dad was Korean, but I think he was he was like highly addicted to some sort of drug, and so he ended up like committing suicide. And then his mom like got into drugs, I think. Yeah, I think there's actually a documentary about him, so you guys can search.
He went through some shit in his life. If you read his bio, some like shit, like, oh god, he had a terrible life, like childhood growing up.
Exactly. So my point is, like, I can understand, like, you know, as a child, like, how can you really deal with knowing that your father like killed himself and your mom's like barely taking care of you because she's like hooked on drugs, you know what I mean? I don't know about his father so much, but as far as his mom, like she was like barely, like she was pretty much just like hooked on drugs. So like I can understand that, you know? So it's just like being like genuine with your message, which where hip hop came from, right? So like for me to listen to Korean music, like Korean hip hop, it's just totally like they're just kind of like running with the whole pretentious thing, like I got money, I got this, I got that, or even some of them act hard, which, you know, it kind of like gives me some cringes.
I mean, you know? I don't know, maybe there's some Korean rappers out there who have credibility with what they're talking about and shit. Like I'm not even that into hip hop, right? Like you know, especially Korean, I don't give a shit about that. But like, you know, their beats and the way they're like, you know, their attire, the way they're dressed,
presenting themselves.
yeah,
right?
like their lyrics and shit. Like, no. What I'm saying is this: their lyrics compared to their like actual image and the beat and whatever kind of like, you know, the music video shows, it's so fucking contradictory. They're talking about like choco pies and shit. Yeah. They're talking about eating choco pies, but they're like hard beats and shit. You know, they're like I got no money, so I'm at the PC bomb. You know
why don't you explain what choco pie is?
A choco pie is like literally a Korean version of a Twinkie, but it's a chocolate like
glazed
circular
on the outside.
Yeah, a chocolate glazed like what is it? Like a snack on the outside, and then in the inside is like this vanilla cream.
Yep.
So it's, you know, like it's like a very famous Korean snack that
Do you like it? It's not even that good.
It's not. I used to like it, but not. It's like whatever. I'm not. I would eat it if someone had to like give it to me, but like it's not really my shit. But like it's so annoying to me, man.
Fun fact: North Koreans love that shit. They will kill for that shit.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah!
It's in the black market, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? So there's like there's a place where like for international like peace relations or whatever, there's a place called like Kaesong Industrial Complex or some shit. Is that what it is?
Yes, Kaesong
being the city there in North Korea. They like basically work with each other for the purpose of like keeping peace with each other or some shit.
We're talking about North and South Koreans, working in the Kaesong industry, yeah.
And so basically, like the South Koreans, they were like, you know, they obviously like they're gonna tell them about like, you know, about South Korean culture, and not only that, but even like as to like giving them like fucking choco pie. So like obviously North Koreans don't get the luxury of eating choco pie. You know, it's not distributed there.
No, it's not.
And so I heard like one month's pay equals a fucking choco pie.
That's fucking true.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is true.
Yeah. So
that's
they'll fucking slit your throat for that choco pie.
They'll rip your eyeballs out for that choco pie.
Oh,
I'm serious.
Yeah.
That shit's like a month's wages, dog.
It's like prison culture. Like the commissaries, people will make shanks and they'll fucking shank you up in the fucking bathroom. You know what I mean?
They will fucking
well, not bathroom, but like
wait,
in
why
your
does that
room.
have to be a bathroom?
I'm sorry, I just thought about like dropping the
Jesus
soap.
Christ.
But yeah, if they want to steal your shit, you know, hey, guys, you gotta watch Lock Up. It's a documentary series on prison life, and it's really good, man.
Wait, in America or what?
In the States, yeah.
Never watched it.
Yeah, each episode is a
different prison?
Each different location, prison.
It's good?
It's fucking good, man. I couldn't stop watching it. Whether it's women or men, don't give a fuck. So they just like, man. It's really interesting.
I hear Guantanamo Bay is like
G-Bay.
I heard that shit.
You love that cock meat sandwich, right?
Oh, what? Excuse me?
That foot long.
Yeah, I heard that shit's like a fucking, like, it's literally, you can't even stretch your body out.
Oh, Lord.
It's literally like a 4x4. Like, I'm talking about feet here.
Oh, my God.
Like, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like,
4x4?
That's what I hear. You literally can't fucking move.
Oh, shit.
In these little cells. So like,
Jesus Christ,
psychological problems, you know, like there's a lot of mental illnesses that are produced are born in these fucking places.
That's
man.
the thing.
Jails,
like,
man. Jails.
Going back to the Lock Up documentary, you know, like some of these prisons, they have like it's called isolation, right?
Oh, so, God.
Yeah.
You watch Shawshank Redemption?
T-sep, whatever, T-separation, whatever that
fucking thing is, man.
Pretty much, yeah. Like if you're misbehaving, they send you.
Like a little kid.
They have to fucking.
Whoop
they gotta
your ass.
fucking punish you, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that they do is they put you in a fucking, like basically you're isolated in a cell, right? And like pretty much, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
You have no one to talk to, right? And that can really get to your head, especially with like what it looks like inside. It's pretty much just walls, like concrete walls.
Lord.
And like when some of you might be like, okay, I could live by myself. No, it's different. Like
no, it's
for humans,
it's a little bit different.
As human beings, like one of the things is like we often like overlook is like our mental health. and like that comes along with like, you know, like that, I mean, that's hand in hand with like socializing, right?
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, that we have fucking mouths for a reason, not just sucking D, but like,
Oh, I don't know. I don't do that. But like,
but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Besides eating and shit,
yeah, no, we need
have
to communicate. We need to talk. We need to like, you know what I mean? And that's one of the things why people even outside of the prison, like, you know, they don't have a social support system. So like that's why they get into kind of this like rabbit hole of like going into like fucking, they just go crazy psychologically. Right. It's just not good for the human mind.
I have a friend who's like a psychology major, and her like her focus was in autism and shit. But you know about autism? That shit's like very fucking it's very strange how certain people are just socially. I thought autism was some kind of disease, like some kind of like, you know, hereditary. Like, hereditary kind of like I don't know, some kind of deficiency or something, dysfunction, malfunction, whatever you call it.
Malfunction.
I don't know, but
malfunction.
Like, but yeah. Like, you know, suppose like autism is essentially like people who are just naturally really socially awkward. We're not talking about like people who are just quiet and shit. We're not shy. We're not talking about that. Like people who are just really, they display behaviors that are like socially like, what the fuck? Like, you know, very like the outliers. Like we're talking about in a group, like you suddenly like pick your nose in public and you can't help it. You know, they just have to do it. It's like they have like these like they have these like these compulsive tendencies, and and they're just their brains are not like, you know, kind of made to, you know, or like respond appropriately in social settings.
Yeah, like there's nothing that tells them like stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's a like. Have you ever met an autistic person?
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't? Right?
Yeah, like it's so weird because it's not like they have anything like particularly. My friend, what she's saying is like she has like a master's degree in this shit too, right? So, and autism and like psychological you know, illnesses. Like she knows a lot of like different things about psychology. So basically she's saying like there's nothing wrong with you if
does
you're
that go under pathology? Is that what it is? Maybe
pathology is a different thing. Pathology is like that's, I don't know, that's kind of like psychopathic, you know, tendencies. We're talking about different things here. Okay. But autism is you don't have anything wrong with you physically or mentally. There's nothing like really wrong with you, and it's like, and people don't know why you have those like weird social tendencies. Like, why do you act like that in public? Like there's no like, you know, reasons why. So it's a very big reason. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but like what you just talked about, like that was very like, it just brought it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's something where, I mean, I don't really know much about it, but from what I know from the surface of things, I think they didn't do much research on it.
There's not enough research on it, and there's not enough knowledge on it.
Maybe not even, no one really like, there's no funding for it maybe. So like, I don't know, like they gotta, but it's, I think, I mean, don't they say it has something to do with like the chromosomes and some shit? Like,
I don't know. I don't know, dude. Don't even get it. We need a psychologist here to like fucking, you know, give diagnosis on that shit. But don't you feel like, especially in China and Korea, I was talking to a friend recently who was living in China. Like, there's so many people with psychological problems, mental illnesses. People are just fucked up, and they're just allowed to live their lives. Like no one's trying to help them. But like in Korea, I feel like a lot of people are like that. They don't get enough help as they should be. Don't you agree?
Of course I agree, man.
No, I'm not trying to laugh at them. It's fucking sad.
No, I know what you're
It's fucking sad. That
the thing is, like in America, they're very accommodating with that. Like for people who are mentally, cognitively compromised or whatever condition that they may have. Like they have like, I know it might sound like silly, but even as simple as like handicap lots, like spots in the parking lot, like in America, they're totally like accommodating with that shit. It, like you probably see it everywhere, whether it's a grocery store, the theaters, whatever, right? It's always there. Like you just know. Like you always see that fucking
handicap
designated handicap parking, whatever, right? In Korea, No, like I don't think I've ever seen one. I can actually say I've never seen one.
Well,
in Korea,
there are. I mean, if you look at like parking spots, they're pretty good with it. Like 장애, they call it 장애, like 장애 주차. So it's like they have those like little with the like yellow marks and shit. But I'm talking about like actual people, like, you know, I don't know, man.
it's because like in society, like Korean society, like they kind of like it's sad to say, but they're kind of like yeah
Rejecting of like people
Yeah.
like that. I understand that. That's
they
true.
reject you know, people
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that.
It's true. A lot of people are like that still.
And so they don't
Yeah.
get the specialized help that they need.
Right.
And so like they shouldn't be going to, I mean, yeah, they can, like the thing with like these public schools, like I feel like they need like
Special ed.
yeah, pretty
Yo,
much
that's a
special
fucking good
education,
point, man.
right? Yeah.
That's a very good point you bring up.
Yeah.
Why don't they have? Oh my god, this is what pisses me off, man.
And so they pretty much just migrate from one school to another,
I
just
fucking-
hoping and praying that. But the thing is, Joe, like it all comes from just the culture and like society, and the fucking parents are the main reason. Because the parents don't accept their child's condition.
Yes, it's fucking true.
They don't accept it.
Yes.
And they will never accept it. They
Let them-
won't until their son just can't do anything for himself and they have to end up taking care of him.
I don't even know how we got into this topic, but one thing is true. It's like I think the education system is so fucked up in like that regard. There needs to be special programs for these kids, man. Like I remember when I was a teacher, they had these. These kids are like they shouldn't be,
Yeah.
like in this class. Like it's so hard to talk to the parents about that, because I remember I was trying to like, they're like, can you talk to parents about like, you know, this kid is like, you know, misbehavior. Everybody fucking knows that this kid has a mental problem, right?
Right.
In America, they call it special ed classes. You go to a special ed classroom, like there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, how it is. Like
They're just specialized
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Like that's their like expertise. You know what I mean?
Korea still needs to work on that shit a big time. Like,
Yeah.
I try to talk to the parents that have like, you know, kids with special ed, like mental disabilities, and basically the parents started yelling at me and shit. I remember that shit was like really
Get the
weird for me.
fuck outta here.
She was like, she started raising her voice at me because she was like,
She felt offended.
yeah, very offended. And all I was saying, like, hey, like, I think that, you know, I heard of this school that, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I was like, I heard of this school that does admit, like, because it was really like fucking bugging me a lot. So I was like,
Yeah, dude.
there's a school that really admits people with special help. And I kind of like assumed that the parent knew that clearly, if your kid cannot stay like sitting in the class, and all the teachers let this kid roam around and like walk around the class and shit because they can't do anything, there's something wrong with your kid. Like, you know it too.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, maybe you should send your kid to this special school that I heard about in Korea. There's not a lot of them. And the parent got like, she was like, what do you mean? What kind of school are you talking about? I was like, well, come on. Like, you know, like it's
See, that's the thing. The parents won't
so
accept it.
fucking hard to explain.
It's kind of like kicked under the rug. Like they're trying to hide it, right?
Fucking yelled at me and like, yeah,
No,
it was
like
very awkward.
Yeah. Oh my god, I could only imagine. But like,
Yeah.
they try to hide that shit, right?
It's-
as
yeah.
much as they can possibly tolerate.
Squash that fucking beef. But yeah, man. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
No, like they just try to just pretend like nothing's wrong. And I understand it's your child, especially at an early age. Maybe he grows up and he finds his way. That it could happen, right? But at the end of the day, you have to really like realistically like just kind of evaluate things for what it is. And that they don't because I think a fear of like, you know, from what like society will judge them as a family and everything else that comes along with it, living here in Korea, they're just like very, very like scared of that
what's wrong
conclusion.
with the uniform country, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things. Like we can get into this for a lot of details, but we have about 10 minutes left.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, we started at about, and I really have to pee.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry about that. But
yeah. Any last things we can talk about?
I mean, we could talk about. I want to talk about
let's do it.
Fucking A, man. Korea, like the big news in Korea right now is cryptocurrency. So,
oh Lord,
Korea's like trying to ban the actual, like, you know, like you probably heard about it too in the news. Everybody knows like Bitcoin cryptocurrency is like taking over the world right now, right? You better get on this fucking train, is what everyone's saying. So basically Korea's like, they're really scared. They got scared that like it's causing people to gamble. It's like a gambling thing, and people are starting to like put in too much money, and they're just getting too hopeful now. Like governments got really scared.
It's getting out of hand.
So they're like, we're banning it now. We're banning the use of trading now. You can't fucking trade in. Yo, it's causing a fucking riot like it's never been done before, dude, in Korea. So that's the big thing going on in Korea right now. Like, because Korea is one of the biggest markets in cryptocurrency trading. So, yes, that's one of the biggest things that's going on around, like, you know, nowadays, currency, like, you know, current news wise. Yeah, even like Japan, dude, there's like a J-pop group in Japan called Virtual Currency Girls. It's hilarious. They're like the first, like, there's like this group of girls, this girl group that actually they just sing about cryptocurrency. It's so fucking, I don't know, man. Japan. They're just different, man. It's crazy,
man. But yeah, speaking on that, on like artists and shit. So check out Kohh.
Gotta check that guy out, man. He's cool shit.
Yeah. And gotta check out the other hip hop artist. What's his name? China Mac.
China Mac is cool. Where's he from?
So he's from New York, man.
Shout out to China Mac.
I think
Mac,
he's ABC,
man.
American born Chinese.
Yeah.
And like he's like real as fuck.
He is.
Yeah, he's
cool
not like
fuck.
one of your, you know, MCs, lyricists, people. Like he's like straight, like he's
hood,
had
man.
it
He's
hard.
hood.
Like he
just came out of jail, right?
Yeah, went in and out of Rikers Island, you know, did his time, got out of the pen. Like the reason why he even went there is because he shot the gun on someone at the back of like someone's head, but it jammed.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So like I think he got charged for like attempted murder and like other things.
But he's out now.
He's out now and he's like doing good things, man. I see you
That's
out
cool
there,
shit,
China
man.
Mac.
Shout out to those special Asians out there.
Yeah, and he came out with he was a feature on a music video with Young Ma. So yeah that's. Things are looking bright, you know, his way. And
shout out to that guy.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, man. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, but yeah,
UFC,
also, so like later this week, I think we might have Steven coming on to our podcast again.
Episode 2, Steven.
Yeah, so Steven from episode 2, if you guys don't know, he's actually leaving back to the States and finding some university job. So yeah, he's gonna come on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not too sure, but anyways, that time Joe can't make it here because he has to actually commute. Like it takes time to come here. So I'll be, you know, interviewing Steven if it does, you know, solidify, materialize.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, well,
shout out to that. Sounds fun.
Yeah,
sorry I can't
really
be
looking
here.
forward to that. It's sad, man, to see him go, but yeah, man, he's gonna be leaving Thursday, I think. So yeah.
Dude, I miss Steven.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So here it is, man. You can check us out on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. Search STBeef00 and on Instagram.
And Brian's been working on our YouTube channel, our first video about our McDonald's review in Korea. So Brian's been working hard as shit on that. So check out that.
We're doing something new.
Soon. Yeah,
it's totally different from the podcast. I know, like we have this video version as just a supplement, just for a visual for you guys, and but like this YouTube thing is actually like a actual YouTube channel.
Yes,
so
sir.
like we're gonna do some reviews, food reviews for you guys, like here in Korea, and it's gonna be lots of fun. And there's more to come.
I haven't been doing shit. Brian's been doing the editing and all that shit for YouTube, so he's like the go-to man for this. So check out his skills on editing and our YouTube videos. And we're gonna come out with our first McDonald's review in Korea. We're gonna do BK, Taco Bell. We're gonna do the major franchises that international franchises that are in Korea. So check us out. We'll let you know. I'll give you further deets on that.
Yeah, and like what we mean by that is like they have like exclusive menus, like exclusive like items only for Korea.
Only for Korea. It's very interesting.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. All right, man.
Check us out. And thank you for following us and loving us and supporting us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
Please
y'all.
tell your friends and families.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. See you later.
Laters.
Peace.